Should you be ready for an economic apocalypse? 6 in 10 small businesses fear inflation will ruin them. That, I think, sounds like it could be pretty bad. This in a report at Study Finds. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the Study Finds guy on YouTube. It's the longest four-letter word out there today. While inflation is horrible for consumers, it isn't just about consumers these days as well. In a poll of more than 500 small businesses, 61% say the current state of the U.S. economy is making it difficult for them to keep their doors open. And that's true. I mean, businesses don't have a choice. If they want to stay open, they have to pay the higher prices for the goods and services they need to operate. And they have to pass those costs on to you. Otherwise, they're out of business. So how the heck did we get here? I mean, I don't have the answers. It's really for you to discuss, and why wouldn't we have inflation now anyway? What do we expect when we stop producing energy in the U.S. and are forced to buy it from people who hate us? That's just what happened. When gas prices rise, everything rises. I'll let y'all figure out amongst yourself whose fault that is, but there are a lot of theories. I digress. By the way, people, we used to talk about these things all the time with each other. That's how we solved issues. That means sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but we have to get back to that. It doesn't mean that we hate each other. It means we're trying to solve a problem. And sometimes you have to be passionate and have that conversation. In all things, from politics to science, it just seems like we can't have a conversation anymore because people are so focused on a particular narrative. I like to keep it simple, find out what works and do more of that, and find out what doesn't work and do less of that. Hey, vote for me. If you haven't been sure whether or not you're paying more for your daily groceries and other goods, small businesses have news for you. You are a lot more. And let's not forget the supply chain problem, folks. Just this. And let me say this. Sure, the pandemic didn't help, but if many people can still, now in 2022, make more money staying home unemployed than they can working, I can't imagine why we wouldn't have enough people to keep the economy running. I mean, it's just me, but when I was a kid, working at McDonald's was a summer job or a part-time job during school. These weren't meant to be jobs to support a family, and I'm not sure when that changed. Are we expecting small businesses to pay someone 45 G's a year to do these jobs now? It was where you learned your work ethic and you were a kiddo and you got a little extra spending money or saved for college. Incidentally, this is probably why you see more and more computers taking your order and less humans. And the poll reflects that. Well, 76% say inflation may be the biggest problem that's crippling most businesses, but it's not the only issue. 61% say the supply chain issues that started during the pandemic are still impacting their businesses, and 26% say labor shortages are hurting the bottom line. Well, that's a surprise. I personally know a lot of people who would be working right now but are getting more money to stay home. That's just the way I see it anecdotally here. When I bring that up, some people will say, well, pay more than the government. Folks, it's really hard to compete with an entity that can just print money and spend it. Not exactly a level playing field there. 76% of small business owners admit they've had to raise their prices to combat inflation over the last year. It's not just a small hike either, they say. On average, American businesses have increased their prices by 27% just to stay ahead of inflation. Wow. 51% report losing business after raising their prices in 2021. That includes 62% of retail businesses and 55% of companies who do business on site and in person. For reference, inflation is the rate at which prices are increasing, which also means your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. I'm pretty sure you know that painfully well right now. Out of all business across America, the economic crisis is hitting stores which operate on site the hardest. 4 in 5 say inflation and supply chain issues are equally responsible for their recent struggles as well. And remember, the supply chain problem leads to inflation as well. If there's not enough product out there to sell, that's supply and demand. The supply is low, demand is high, the price goes up. Please let me know what you think in the comments. This is about a conversation, folks. We have a lot more info on this and other studies. Just click the link in the description below and head over to studyfinds.com.